some forward marching, maybe a flank and a slide here, and I'll tell you a little bit about those as we go along. Mark, time, hut, and 4 count, turn, forward march, hut, and 4 count, turn, forward march, hut, and mark, time, hut, and 4 count, turn, forward march, hut, and left flank, hut, and left flank, hut, and left flank, hut, and hit, hit, 4 count, turn, close, shake it out. So parents, a couple things about what you just saw. We march what's called 8 to 5, which means they should take 8 steps between 5 yards. So Madison Dameron right here, Madison wave. Madison is on the 35-yard line right now. If I forward march her in 8 steps, she should be on the 30-yard line right in front of her. Okay, so that's kind of how you'll notice that hopefully they're staying in their lines. That's because they're all marching the same step size, all hitting those yard lines at the same time. We take a step with our left foot first. Left foot is always first in marching band. Unless you're a couple colleges across the country, march right foot first. But we don't talk about that. So here we go. Here's a little bit more. Set. Mark, time, hut, and forward march, hut, and 5, 6, 7, hit. 4 count, turn. I'm going to give them a slide here coming up, which means their faces are going to stay pointed towards the end zone down there, but they're going to move either left or right. Forward march, hut, and left slide, hut, and forward march, hut, and right slide, hut, and forward march, hut, and 4 count, turn, forward march, hut, and right slide, hut, and forward march, hut, and left slide, hut, and forward march, hut, and 4 count, turn, forward march, hut, and left flank, hut, and right flank, hut, and mark, time, hut, and close. Every once in a while we get a little confused on our left and our right, which is only really bad if you've got a sousaphone player or a bass drum player right next to you. Then that's a little scary. Shake it out. The last really fundamental marching technique that we do is called a drag step. More simply, it's backwards marching. We call it a drag step because in a forward march, they should be hitting their heel on the ground with their toe painted sky high. We always say that if we wrote "Hi Mom" on their toes, you should be able to read it. So heel hits the ground, toe is sky high, and they roll through. So it's kind of like driving a stick shift where you got to get a little gas and let the clutch out. The left foot is rolling forward while the right foot is rolling up off the ground. On a drag step, however, they come up on their toes. You're going to hear them say the word lift, right, Ben? You're going to say the word lift, and they're basically just going to skim their toes across the top of their turf, drag the toes. Okay, so it's more of a straight leg march, and that again takes them backwards. It's a little scary at first. You can't see where you're going, obviously, but I think we've got it pretty much handled. All right, here we go, Ben. Sit. Mark, time, hut, and drag, step, hut, and mark, time, hut, and ideally their heels should not hit the ground anytime they're doing that drag step. drag step, hut, and forward march, hut, and 4 count, turn, drag step, hut, and forward march, hut, and right slide, hut, and forward march, hut, and left slide, hut, and forward march, hut, and drag step, hut, and mark time, hut, and close. Check it out. This year we added something new because our drill writer wanted to put it into the show. It's something that I've kind of thought we should learn for a while. It's a turn while moving. So they'll be forward marching, and then their direction of travel is going to continue in the direction they're going, but they're going to turn around and be facing the opposite direction. We decided to call it a to the rear. I don't know if that's the right terminology or not, but it works for us, and we can do that from forward marching, turning around into drag stepping. We can also do it drag stepping, turning around into forward marching. The one thing that's unique about this is it's new for every single person out here. Raise your hand if you're a freshman. Raise your hand if you're not a freshman. Okay? So, freshmen have had lots of new things thrown at them over the last 4 weeks or so and have handled it really well. This to the rear was new for everybody. So it's been kind of a learning experience for all of us. Myself and the staff, we had to learn how to teach it because we had never taught that before. So it's been a good exercise for all of us. We're getting there. Not quite perfect yet, but by the end of the season, I think we'll have it. All right, man, here comes into the rear. Set. We'll start with drag step to the rears. Look at mark time, hut, and drag step, hut, and to the rear, hut, and mark time, hut, and fancy, huh? Drag step, hut, and to the rear, hut, and mark time, hut, and here comes a forward march and then to the rear. Forward march, hut, and to the rear, hut, and mark time, hut, and forward march, hut, and to the rear, hut, and mark time, hut, and close. Check it out. You may have noticed inside in Corral and Shaker Dance, our brass all of a sudden turned around and faced backfield. That's not because we don't like them. We just do that sometimes to change the sound, give a little bit of a different color to the sound with some of the instruments pointed backfield. And that's in the show where we use what you just saw. They're marching, they're moving, they're turning, they're playing. A lot of things going on at once. So those are the basic fundamentals that we do. And we started with how to stand, how to put your feet together, and how your hands go, and what do you say when Mr. Stewart yells Banton Hut at you, and all those very simple things. And then we took one step. What happens with that very first step? How does my heel look? How does my body look? What happens when I transfer my weight onto that next foot? And then we've just built and built and built and built from there. And again, I'm especially proud of our freshmen who, again, over the last 3 or 4 weeks have just had all this thrown at them and have handled it really well and are doing a great job out there moving around. Ben, would you like to show them how a drill down works? We'll see if we get all the way down to 1 or 2. We'll show them a little bit. So we'll show you a little bit of what we call a drill down. This is basically a competition. I'm going to give them commands. And I'll start simple and slow, and then every once in a while I'll stop them. And if they made a mistake, if they turned left when they should have turned right, or if I said flank and they did a slide, or any other number of things. If they made a mistake, and it's on the honor system at first, then they just quietly step out. We go a little bit faster. We keep going. Mr. Stewart starts throwing things at them to try and trick them, and we just basically try and see who is the last man or woman standing. Right? Oh, Mr. Bala's going to march. Running their pouches to the side because they think that gives them an advantage, I guess, if they don't have their pouch on. Some of the freshmen don't really know what they're doing. They just saw everybody else running, so they're good band kid should. I tell people all the time, especially at competitions, I'll go like start to like go to the bathroom or something, and I turn around and there's like 20 band kids following me. I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, well, we saw you walking, so we just thought we should come with you. I'm like, no, go back. They're good little lemmings. They're trained well. All right, face this way, Ben. All right, here we go. Who will it be? Who have been our drill down winners so far this year? Emily Morquay and Stephen Foreman were our 2 drill down winners so far. All right, let's see if we can get another one tonight. Maybe a repeat winner. No. All right, set. Mark, time, hut, and 4 count. Turn, forward, march, hut, and left flank, hut, and left flank, hut, and left slide, hut, and forward, march, hut, and 4 count. Turn, forward, march, hut, and left flank, hut, and left slide, hut, and forward, march, hut, and 4 count. Turn, drag, step, hut, and forward, march, hut, and left flank, hut, and right flank, hut, and right slide, hut, and mark, time, hut, and close. Now, you made your mistake. Step on out. You still have 100. Let's go to 130. Okay, walk forward, fill in holes. Walk forward, fill in holes. If you're out, come to the side, have a seat quietly, please.